The number one linebacker, man, crazy Isaiah Williams here. He decommits. I think this is his fourth decommitment, fifth commitment. Committed to Louisville, Florida State, Syracuse, Florida, and now his fifth one
Every
on Ole
round the block.
Miss. Yeah, I've seen some comments about it of like the people, like his camp around him were kind of in shambles of it. When he committed to Florida, said, this is it. And we followed this recruiting. We talked about with Corey Bender very closely that when he did commit, or he wanted to commit back in November, but at that point he had committed to 3 or 4 schools at then. And Florida was like, well, let's just wait a minute. Like, make sure this is the place that you want to go. You kind of have a little bit of, I don't want to say sloppy, but a little bit of hopping around. Let's go through the process. Let's see if this works. Let's see if this relationship works. Make sure it's cohesion on both ends here before you
Right.
do that. And they got all the way to March, and he's like, all right, this is it. This is where I want to be. Let's rock. Let's get this recruiting season started. Commits to Florida, and we feel like, okay, this is it. Let's take the steps. Takes a visit elsewhere. I talked to Corey about it, and they go, yeah, he was kind of confused. Goes to Ole Miss. Not sure if it's an official visit, unofficial visit. Like, it was very confusing on how the visitations were happening. I wasn't really too concerned. I was like, maybe the kid's just kind of doing his thing, hanging out. Well, he ultimately decommits, and now this leaves this 2026 recruiting class with one lone survivor. And Will Griffin.
Yeah.
Thoughts?
Crazy time that we're in with this recruiting thing. The decommits, commits, it's a big decision, and I don't at this day and age with everything that's going, I wouldn't rush it for nobody, but of course people gonna start questioning the type of person you are, and your commitment level, and what are you committing to? You know what I mean? Are you capable of committing? You know what I mean? Like, some people just can't get married because they can't commit to save them lives. And so a lot of people are gonna question that. But he's young. You know what I mean? I was high on him, but I think in this day and age in this cause, we're stacked. We got guys in that room. Most of our guys are sophomores, freshmen, and then we got some redshirt freshmen, some guys that haven't even seen the field yet. So for us overall, I think we're fine. And if I had to think, looking at it, I know he went to Ole Miss. If they got it in his head about just the depth chart alone, Ole Miss, all their guys are redshirt juniors, seniors, grad transfers, all of this stuff at the position, they're all going to be gone. So if I'm him, I'm thinking, okay, where can I go? And even if I'm not ready to play, they're gonna put me out there anyway. You know what I mean?
I mean, the easy counter to that is Ole Miss is known for finding your replacement in the portal. So yeah, they may not have that guy on roster currently. That doesn't look like they're going to take your spot, but they're for sure as heck not shy to go out there and get somebody else.
And that's the selling. They could. If I was coming at Florida and I'm looking at him, that would be my thing. Okay, these guys. When you look at the guys that we have, they're, like I said, sophomores. You know what I mean? Some juniors, but we're loaded at that position. And the only thing I could see Ole Miss would be able to sell is, hey, you're gonna come here and start somewhere on the field. We got guys that'll be moving out, but like you said, the portal, it's no guarantee. Any kid that's going off of that, a coach telling them, hey, you're gonna come in and start, you better be, I'll talk about amazingly elite from high school, believing that coming into a school with this portal, because teams want to win, and they want to win now. And if that position is lacking, like Ole Miss position is going to be lacking here shortly, they're going to go on that portal and get some guys. And so you won't be just competing against sophomores or freshmen. You're going to be competing against juniors and redshirt seniors. So that would be my caution for all of that. Hold on 1 second, bro. My thing about I gotta charge my battery. Give me 1 second, bro.
Okay, you're good. Yeah, look, and I think the other part of it too, wish the kid nothing but the best. We'll get Stephen Harris back in here in just a moment. Wish him nothing but the best. And Isaiah Williams, I mean, this is kind of the name of the game with recruiting. But kind of, again, speaking to people that you see jump around, there's more examples showing people from when they jump from school to school to school. Now, he hasn't been to the schools. The recruiting's a little bit different. But when you see this hecticness in their recruiting cycle, I mean, there's names. We got Rashada. Kermani kind of had a little bit of a fluster there. He's been able to work himself out of it going into the season. But when you see this drama this early on, it rarely translates. Again, there's always a little bit of drama. That's okay. And this isn't drama. It's 5 schools. So we'll see. Again, I don't think Florida circles back around. I wrote an article about it. I just, knowing Billy, knowing the process that we kind of heard with Corey Bender and how they kind of wanted to wait and make sure that it went through its correct protocols, I don't see them circling back around. And it's not about an embarrassment thing. It's not about anything about that. It's about, hey, like, where are we at mentally? Where are we at on, stability wise of this working? So look, wish them the best. But I think this kind of raises the question. I saw Dave Waters post a little clip about it. Great stuff. Look, nothing but love for Dave. His approach was like, and again, a great reason. Like, hey, do we start to raise a flag of like, where are we? Because with one commit, again, I know it's only May, and that's what kind of the gist of it. And again, some will point to, hey, we closed out really strong last year, as we did, and I agree. Again, that was a buzzer beater. Wrote about this today. That was a buzzer beater shot. You can live like that from time to time, but you don't want that to become the norm. And I also don't believe that Florida is poised to do that. I think that this recruiting world has changed dramatically since we started doing this show. There used to be some rhythm. There used to be some patterns. You should have been at a certain place by a certain time. But with how things are going, it really seems like these official visits that are coming up seem to be kind of your bread and butter. Now, you'll have the end of May, June, and then the third week of June, and then you'll kind of have the next month or so of a committing process. Now, going into the season, we've got to be in double digits. I think just to have a nice, healthy close. That's what we've noticed with most of these schools. Like a Georgia. Georgia was very similar to where they're at right now last year. I know this because we had our Hightop Sports Georgia channel, followed along with their guy over there, and he was concerned about where Georgia was right now because they only had about 2 or 3, and they ended up doing just fine. Alabama has 7 or 6 commits right now, alongside Georgia. So all these schools have massive weekends coming up, and that's where the work is going to be done. And Billy, we know that he's going to be more of a soft approach to his sell, more of a lenient, where he's not going to be a hard close, which, look, hate it or love it, it's what he's done. It's his method of madness, and I think it speaks volumes to how this team stuck together and rallied around each other this past season. So I support it, and I'm okay with it in every which way. In no means or shape or form I am in panic mode thus far. I think that come August, September, if we're still under 5, I think I'll panic. 7 to 10, we'll put it in wait and see kind of mode, because it'll also be interesting to see like the guys that we're targeting, what they're doing. If they're not committed yet, then I'm not worried. I know we've got a handful of guys that are crystal ball to us right now that are set for some official visits, and we'll see. Georgia just got the big one today. They got the number 1 quarterback, so a lot of their focus was on that, and that's huge. You need your quarterback to close out strong. A lot of people point to USC. USC has 27 commits right now. Insane to have 26 commits. That's damn near the entire class. Why I would also be worried about them is because they also had 20 plus commits last year this time. We're on an absolute burner, heater, whatever you want to call it. Had the number 1 linebacker, edge rusher from Georgia commit to them. They had the defense. They had like 3 back-to-back guys, like number 1 of their positions, all commit to USC. LSU was in a very similar situation. The number 1 quarterback, the number 1 running back, and the number 1 receiver were all committed to LSU at this point last year. Only the running back ended up staying committed. So, again, it's these tales all the time. Come talk to me in December when the paper is signed. I do believe that the commits that happened in those June, July months seem to have some more stability over the last 2 years than the ones that are sticking very early on. So, we'll see. I think Florida has a lot of momentum, a lot of great things heading in their direction. They seem to have figured a lot of great things out. So, that's why I'm not concerned yet, because it's not like every school's sitting at 20. That's kind of where I'm at with it. Q Lee still doesn't trust Billy. Well, that's a no-brainer on that one, boys. Couple super chats here. T-Dub says, $2 says, bro, Dubs in the house. Gators stay hot. Amen. Absolutely, T-Dub. Good to see you, Bubba. Thank you for stopping by. Mr. Stephen Harris had a little bit of technical difficulties, but he will be back without a shadow of a doubt here in just a minute. What about our lady softball show love? Yes. Thank you, DeAndre. I meant to talk smack to our Oklahoma boy, taking down the number 1 seed in Oklahoma Sooners. It's much different when you got to play in the SEC every single game, every single weekend. Just means a little bit more. I'm loving it, man. I love that where sports are for Florida. Florida baseball is 13-2 since the Gators won the national championship. They're finding their stride at the right time. People panic. I mean, I'm telling you, they did it last year. Not quite so much the year before that. That baseball team was solid, but last year panicked. Baseball is the one sport that I don't panic on, because it's just so quickly to turn things around, and just the way the game is work, and especially because it's similar to basketball. Like, just make the dance. Just get into the series, and if you're hot during those series, that's all that matters. You got the talent, you got the coach that knows how to win in those moments. Relax. Everybody likes to throw stones into glass house come February on this baseball team. I don't get it. And we still got a long way to go. But I'm liking what they're doing right now. Q Lee says, yes, I do. I just had surgery, my gallbladder removed. Well, sorry to hear that, Q. Billy would have done it for you. Would have knocked it out of the park. 433 strong boys between Twitter and YouTube. If you guys are enjoying the content, you know what to do. Smash the like button and subscribe. I don't know if you can like through the YouTube or however you can like it on X, but you can always like it and share it on your Twitter if you love it. Will says, don't trust nothing till the ink dries. And even then, you still can't trust it, Will. we learned that very quickly. Even the ink doesn't really hold anything true to us anymore with the ability to back out of those. So, we'll see. I hope Stephen Harris is coming back. So I'm going to talk to him about his thoughts. I mean, he's not panicking. I know he's not panicking. You know, Stephen Harris is cool as a cucumber when it comes to just anything Florida and where we're at with it. Look, I think that the way that it closed last year, I think that was last year. I was more my reason for concern last year was because what we were hearing, people weren't committing and being hesitant because they wanted to wait and see. I don't think anybody's going to wait and see. And there's a lot of great articles right now by Corey Bender and the On3 staff, Keith Niebuhr, about just the great position they are in with a lot of top guys. They are turning a lot of heads for a lot of players, and you know, the lights are bright for some of those guys. So again, let's just let the next month roll out, and then we'll be able to kind of get a good feel about how this recruiting class is going to go.